One day, I remember going to the shop and coming home, then getting a telephone call from Mum saying that she was off to a union meeting. And I thought it was really strange. The telephone line from her end was crackly and echoey when I mentioned a certain lady was going to be there. And this lady had destroyed my childhood, involved the Ministry of Education, involved teachers, and a lot of other things. To not let me in with the others. And this happened through childhood. And I'll never forgive this lady ever in my heart. But getting back to the morals of the story, I remember talking to her when I said, a certain lady by the name, she knows who she is. Her name was Kerry Tankard. And then the next day, a police car drove slowly down the street during the day. Then it stopped outside my house and watched me through the window of their car, and then sat there for a few more minutes, then it left. And then it proceeded slowly down the road. And then I just noticed something was really strange. I just noticed that when it happened, I was furious. And then I just remember hiding from everything around me, and then becoming very, very sick. There was this tea place that I used to go to, but one day I noticed vomit outside a restaurant. It had been there for a while. No bugger thought to clean it up. And I kept going there. Then I started to get really, really sick a few weeks later. And I had these piercing stomach pains. And then one day, I had this really dull, sharp ache in the pit of my stomach that just made me collapse. Then I got real bad stomach upsets for 11 to 12 days after that. 13 days. So I decided to go to the chemist just before I had a job interview the next day. And then the next day, before that I took medicine, was feeling okay, but then the stomach pain decided to come back. Collapsed on the floor again. I ended up going to the interview, walking out the room, just in tears, because I never got the job. And then after that, I remember being targeted somewhere a few weeks later after that meeting by a job coach by the name of Duncan Dunbar. and I said something about the Mayor's Task Force jobs being the biggest scam known to man, and it doesn't really help young people get into work. That's all a lie. And he got really shitty at me. Then another day, he turns up at my property with a whole group, with a unprofessionally written batch of CVs. So I went and handed them all out, did what they asked, wondered why I still couldn't get a job. Then I realised someone in that community had slandered my name to this man, and another lady who I am damn sure did contact mental health on me, Kerry Tankard, bitch she was, nasty individual, had rung mental health on me. And then one day I was sitting at my mother's, flying monkey came past, then came up to my door. Someone from Hillmorton. So I didn't answer the door, and he left. Then as I was walking down the street another day, a mental health worker in a mental health car was gathering notes, so I could see her hand was writing onto paper in the car as I walked past. And another day, no, but before that, she was on the phone to someone pointing directly at me, and I just remember being a bit shell-shocked. I got to the supermarket, bought what I needed to get, came back home. As I was walking home the same way again, she was parked on a different side of the street in a green car, taking more notes, talking again, pointing directly at me. I quickened my pace. So I went, so I got back home. I locked the doors, put my stuff away, had a shower and went to bed. And I slept the whole day. But after that, the same flying monkey came back, knock at the door, wouldn't answer it. And then I was called up to go to another job meet-up, one of these job coaching sessions. And I got verbally attacked, verbally abused, and insulted. And then another day, the man came back. The flying monkey, Duncan, came back. Gave me another CVs. So I handed them all out the next week. But before he left that day, he said, "I'm not your night fucking nurse. I'm not your bitch. and a few other crude things. Then he drove off. But also he stood in my personal space. And I took a step back, shut the door. And then after that, I went to his office. He had a whole thing of books of lists of places he'd looked for jobs for me, but I never ever got one single phone call. In my eyes, he actually went and belittled me and literally gaslit me as a bad person. That made me feel so sad. It's because I saw something was really off with his group. And then the gang stalking started up again. But after that point, I was feeling a lot better. And I went back to my favourite tea shop to go and get a cold tea. And then another month, I started to get sick in this gut again. I knew they were doing something to my drinks when I got them, but I didn't taste anything different or anything the same. But I noticed that my stomach was getting increasingly sore, so I stopped going. And then after that, I started to get manically depressed when I heard about a friend who'd passed away on TV. I just got really, really manically depressed and depressed. I just wondered if they'd actually poisoned me through my food, poisoned me through even my drink too, poisoned me through food and drink. Then one day I went somewhere, someone left a thing of chewing gum for me. I ate it. Next day, I started to have these heavy chest pains and I collapsed on the ground after 5 o'clock in the morning. And then after that, the pains went. I went back to sleep. Then I had realised that Kerry Tankard, Duncan Dunbar, and a few others that didn't want me to prosper, didn't want me to shine, maybe could have been another one, did something very nasty towards me. And then a few months later, I ended up having to claim insanity. But before that, my ex left me. My ex-boyfriend left me at the time. And then never heard from after him again. Then a few months later, I was violently attacked. And I don't really want to talk about it, but it was horrible. Then after that, a very good friend of mine passed away. And then I managed to get more and more depressed as time went on. And then after that, I ended up having a massive mental breakdown from realising that I had been targeted by so many people, which was a small amount of people. Best piece of advice from a targeted individual like myself for 13 years: never accept anything off anyone, even if it's food, gifts, if you don't know that person, because you never know what they could do to you. Anywhere, take anything. Take your own shit. Take your own drink. Take your own home grow if you smoke weed. And just be very aware of your surroundings. And if you think someone is targeting you or gang stalking you, but people I tell think I'm nuts and crazy and stupid and dumb. But I'm not. Because I know gang stalking is where they get a group of targeted individuals but someone pays them off to do it. To either harass, abuse, or stop someone from moving forward. We know this is true. Because they don't want people being happy. I just don't understand why they can recognise stalking but refuse to consider gang stalking a crime. It's disgusting. And I do know when I was up north, the landlady used to gang stalk me at the supermarket sometimes, and I would profusely start sweating as she was watching me buy my groceries. I do know that. I felt intimidated and I felt hurt. Also, before that, when I went to the airport that day, I was made out to be some fucker had called the fucking airline and said I was a threat. So they had someone watching me. I don't know who the fuck that was, but if it was someone that I know, why did you do it? I am so angry. There is a big epidemic of targeting people. I've been shown the door of employment. I've been shown the door for not to get a house. I've been shown the door, turned away, spat on, laughed at, shat on. And I'm sick of it. And yeah, I know now. I can see it clearly. I am a targeted individual. I have been one for 13 years. When I was a child, Mum, under those special needs programs, Mum used to do her shopping, and that they would send people in to stare at her. They would send people, if she went into certain places, they would take photos of her. And I believe Kerry Tankard was a kindergarten teacher, and she had some part to play in it. I do believe that to be true. Even though you can't see me, I see you. I know what you're doing. And I know some of my family are paid gang stalkers off. You know you've moved to Blenheim because you didn't care about me. You didn't want to help me. You gold-digging witch. Just out for your own money. There's a certain crime family in New Zealand who I'm not going to mention are sending target. They're sending anyone to gang stalk people. Like that day at the polls. A Samish man was at the polls not so long ago. He was there disguised as an undercover spy. He stared me out, hard out one day. I was sitting in the spa pool. Then the creepiest thing I ever seen him do was go down the hydro slide. As they were doing that, my bag had been opened and a fanny pack full of drugs, needles, yellow pills, syringe drivers, and other things like a cell phone was placed in there. But my gut instinct told me to hand it into the lifeguard because I didn't want someone else's conscience on my conscience or conflict on my soul. And the honest thing I did was just hand it in to the lifeguard. So their plan backfired in their fucking faces and they fucking know it. As I sit up here and look at the stars, I think how lucky I am. You know? I unleashed the gates of hell on these motherfuckers. They've tried to target me in gang stalk. Paid off gang stalkers. They don't know they're doing it, but they are being told to do it. It's disgusting. I think we live in a country where our system doesn't even take gang stalking seriously, but the ones under the government and the ones higher up are paying them to do this. I don't know what power trip you get out of it, and I'm wondering if they're actually using social engineering and machines and weapons to put dark thoughts in people's heads as the gang stalking takes place. Fucking disgusting. The biggest fucking con, and I've seen it. Breaks my heart. Are the Corbyns. Dirty little antics. You think you can spy on me, stalk me, surveil me with help of government? You people are I'm on the warpath with you fuckers, but I won't take my anger out. So this is a message to the gang stalkers, leave me alone. You've been warned. You motherfuckers. They've been targeting me for years, and I never realised it until now. Never, ever realised it until the penny dropped. And that day I was being spied. Another day, before all this happened, I was happy. I was helping people. I was looking for work. I was doing God's work at the same time. Until you people came. And someone said to me, they're coming after you. And I looked at them and I said, what? They're coming for you. And I said, who? And then she said, just you wait. Just you wait. And I didn't realise it until then. But now we've got to take it into ourselves to keep ourselves safe. Learn to know the signs when you are a targeted individual. Learn to know the signs when you are being gang stalked. I cannot believe gang stalkers would label me as a bad person when I'm actually not a bad person, I'm a good person. And certain people who hate me, I know there are a lot of people who hate me out there, but I don't care about your hate. Your hate will never prosper. Archangel Michael and your legion of angels, call to me now, call in the line of Christ. God protect us all, and myself, and everybody else around me. Wake up, New Zealand. Life TI.